Dímelo, mi gente, Marco here again, my video, and today we're going to be talking about RWA, especially Ondo, Plume, and Chainlink. Thank you so much to Adrian Rosales for recommending this video. He's one of our subscribers, so thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be going over all the data, all the analytics, the users, the monthly volume, the transfer volume, everything. We're going to be talking over all of that. Where do I think, the RWA sector is going in the next 5, 10, whatever many years? So thank you so much for that. If you want me to, make videos like this, please let me know in the comment section down below. I could do it for gaming, AI, whatever it is in crypto. If you ask me though, if there is a sector, like whether it's gaming, DeFi, AI, whatever it may be, I think RWA has the biggest opportunity because it is changing how we view finance, how we access the United States markets, and really markets overall in general, all across the world. So really, really amazing what they're doing. And hopefully it becomes true, right? Hopefully we get the innovation that we need. We get the market structure that we need. We get all the right laws, all the right regulations that is needed to really fix the financial system. Because right now, I'm not saying it's broken. It really works, but we could improve it and make it even better and, bring it to the 21st century because a lot of stuff is kind of outdated. But regardless of that, this is Hercules DeFi. He has an amazing list with some of the top 10, projects they have on the Reserve Protocol, Plume. I'm just going to show you. You can screenshot this. And then obviously, I'm always going to leave this in the description. Every single thing. If you're new, I leave everything in the description down below so you could go and check it out. We also made a video with Maple. Really recommend to check it out. It's an interview with Maple. It's really, really good. Anyways, I just want to get Chainlink out of the way because I think Chainlink is really important right now, how it currently is, right? But I don't think it's RWA in the sense that, you're not tokenizing anything. It's more of a service. So we're not going to talk too much about Chainlink, but we are a little bit right now. So Chainlink is a useful, if you do not know, it's a useful Oracle network to provide cross-chain apps with dollar pricing data outside their crypto closed loops. However, they are not decentralized or a blockchain and are easily depreciated by permissionless coordinations like ICA on Sui. For example, Chainlink is a permission centralized service, is an arbitrage play until chains no longer require them. And this was really important, right? Until they no longer require them. I think for the main time, they're going to be required, right? You don't really know when they're going to kind of cease to exist, so to say. And I think they're, as of right now, they're too big to fail. So Chainlink is really useful, but in the traditional sense of RWA, tokenized and real-world assets, I don't think it is like that. And then we can see here too, Chainlink depends on blockchains. If there are no blockchains, there is no reason for Chainlink. It's a secondary asset. This is basic fundamentals. Be sure to understand the domain when you're investing. So it depends on blockchains, right? I obviously believe blockchains are the future. I obviously believe blockchains are here to stay. So there is a reason for Chainlink, right? But as of right now, people are like, hey, why doesn't Chainlink go more up, this and that? They were mentioned in the White House, right? When explaining, oracles, the White House, the digital assets report that the White House did, they used Chainlink. We could see it here. I made a video about this, right? Explaining oracles, how they do, and this is the little Chainlink logo. So I think, Chainlink has a huge opportunity, right? They were at the White House. They're at every single stop. They are. And then we have the Chainlink reserves too. They created a strategic reserve for Link funded via revenue from various off-chain and on-chain sources. Right now, the reserve has $10.7 million and it keeps increasing, right? The accumulation of Chainlink keeps increasing. And as Chainlink goes up in value, which I think will do, this is obviously going to increase. The average Link cost basis is about 19.47. So I don't really know what the price is right now. Let me actually just check real quick. So the price right now is at 12.17. That's obviously YUDCA, right? The high was about like almost $30, $27, and they've been buying. I forgot when this started. This started like around August. So the price was 13. It went up all the way to 24. Now it's about 12 again. So it really doesn't matter, right? When you're investing, you're doing it for the long term, for the future. So this is really good. I hope, obviously they continue buying. It looks like they buy every week. So they bought 2 days ago. So every Thursday. I believe. So now let's get to the meat and juicy. Let's get to Ondo and Plume. As always, I am the #1 Ondo YouTube influencer. I like to call myself that. No one calls me that but myself. But distributed asset value, they are at 1.78 billion. Holders have 40,000, which is up 43% in the past 30 days. Monthly transfer volume is up 92% to 811 million. RWA count is 105, and monthly active addresses is up 126% to 45,000, which is really impressive. Now, if you compare that to Plume, right? Plume is not really that far behind in terms at least of holders. So holders, they have 280,000 holders, which is actually impressive. It is up 5% in the past 30 days. We're gonna be talking over why that is in just a second. So RWA count, they have about 100 more. I think this number is gonna keep increasing for both, right? It doesn't really matter, right? Ondo has said they want to bring over 1,000 stocks and ETFs on chain. Plume obviously wants to do the same, but right now Plume has an edge. Stablecoin holders, they have 147,000, monthly transfer volume 304,000. These numbers are a lot in the red, right? So the market has not been really good for really anything or really any project, so it's not really that good to look at right now. But they're down 25% to distributed asset value to 122 million. Transfer volume for the stablecoin 675 million, which is still a lot, right? It is down 42%, but it's still a lot. I laugh because people see these numbers and they're like, oh my God, it's going down. But transfer volume of 675 million is not, by any means not a small number, right? And represented asset value is down only 5% to 64 million. So that is pretty good. I just do want to say total volume, when we talked about the previous video on Ondo, it was about, they just reached 1 billion. Is 1.1 billion right now. And that was like about 2 days ago. So kudos to them. Incredible. TVL 311 million. So that is really amazing. So let's talk about what the Plume CEO has to say. And he says that RWA is to grow 3 to 5x in 2026 as growth past crypto natives. So Plume says that Securitize, a platform backed. Oh, let me just give that news out. So they partner up with Securitize, so institutional assets meet composable yield. Securitize, the tokenization leader behind products from Apollo Global, Hamilton Lane, Van Eck, and BlackRock, is bringing institutional grade assets to Plume's Nest credit staking protocol. And they're bringing in, I think it's 280,000 RWA holders reach, which is absolutely amazing. I do want to say, right, and this is why I like having data or having different, viewpoints. It doesn't really matter, but it matters to me. It says Securitize says we're bringing institutional assets to 265,000 RWA holders. So one says 280, one says 265,000 plus. The plus is there, right? It might be more, it might be less. That's why you always have to double check where you're getting your data from and where you're getting, everything from. I'm not saying they're lying, they're cooking the numbers up, nothing like that. I'm just saying, it's good to have different viewpoints, right? So we could see here, it says currently we are tracking to over 10x the RWA holders numbers since the start of the year. And so we expect us to keep inflecting, and we think it's not crazy to imagine another banner year with 25x in user growth numbers. So this is really amazing. He says we're already seeing a pickup in private credit as well as other alternative assets such as mineral rights, oil, GPUs, energy, and more. And he also says regulation could also play a factor. Many countries such as the United States are working on legislation governing stablecoins and other tokenized assets. Ying said that this will help move them out of the sandbox and into real life uses soon. And that is true, because if you look, and I'm just gonna go over that right now. So this is how the Plume website looks like. Pretty cool. They also, in the ecosystem, here's the Nest protocol that we're talking about. Here's the Ondo yield. So these ecosystems kind of all like work together in a way, right? And that's what crypto is. That's why DeFi is so amazing. You can have Ondo, you can have Plume. It all works together somehow, some way. But Plume services are not available in your region. It is not available here in America, and that sucks. Some of the stuff that is trading looks actually pretty interesting. They have XAMU, which is metrics.gold. They have Morpho, they have Nest Vault, they have a lot of great, amazing products that unfortunately I can't use. So pray for me. One day I'll be able to use these products. And then next is Ondo to the Ondo Global Markets. I was able to at least view it. I was able to at least, even though there was access restricted or it wasn't available in my jurisdiction, as I could enter, the Ondo Global Markets, kind of see where everything was moving, where everything was going. But it's just unfortunate that the United States doesn't allow people here in New York, the financial capital of the world, it doesn't allow you to use these stuff. It's honestly amazing. I will change it though. I promise you, I will change that. Anyways, what I will say though is that the US still not allowing, these products. It just means that they are so undervalued, and so the price doesn't match where, this is going, right? The fact that millions of people cannot use these amazing products just means that it is severely undervalued, and not a lot of people are paying attention, except you. If you're watching this video, you know what you are doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. They just go up, talk about Securitize, everything like that. Plume has 280,000 holders, holding an aggregate of 200 million of RWA, which is a much healthier measure of usage on a network. So yeah, pretty amazing news. And if we see here, this is City CEO. She says tokenization digitizes entire market. So let's hear what she had to say.
Look, it comes back to, what does a client need? So a client wants to move money around the world instantaneously, 24/7, 365 days a year, safely and without hassle and complexity. And that's what tokenization does. Tokenization digitizes entire markets. And we've been working in really making sure that we can serve that use case from the client. So I'm really excited about the movement that you can see in payments. I think tokenization best serves the client's use case.
So yeah, there you have it. And I will say though, it is incredible. We're in 2025 and big institutional clients don't have access to sending money 24/7. It's so insane that we don't have this yet. And we're literally at the brink of, bringing that on with tokenization, RWA, crypto, and all these kind of amazing products. So yeah, the future is bright. The future is bright. Don't look at short-term pricing, whatever. We're going to be looking at price and price predictions just in a little bit. So yeah, if you like the video so far, always remember, leave a like. Anyways, tokenization is a $1 trillion opportunity, but thin on-chain liquidity has slowed the adoption of tokenized stocks and ETFs. That is why the Ondo Global Markets overcomes this limitation by bringing Wall Street liquidity on-chain. So what the problem is, liquidity pools do not scale. Other tokenized stock solutions are disconnected from traditional markets, meaning they need to bootstrap their own liquidity on-chain. Even with a conservative 1 million pool per asset supporting all 6,000 stocks on the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange will require more than 6 billion in capital locked per chain. Expanding to 10 chains will require 60 billion in capital, and even then trades will still face significant slippage. So what slippage means, basically, this is more so for if you're doing like $1 million trades, right? Million dollar trades. If you're doing $1 million trades with slippage, you could buy, instead of buying $1 million in Tesla, you could be buying 900,000 or something like that, right? So that is a huge problem, right? You don't want to be using stocks on chain. You don't want to be buying stocks on chain and being affected by that huge slippage, right? That's why, traditional stocks like stocks buying like Robinhood, Webull, Charles Schwab, whatever it may be that you use, Fidelity. That's why people still use them, at least here in the United States. What is the solution? Inheriting public market liquidity. Ondo Global Markets connects directly to the liquidity of traditional exchanges like the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. These venues produce hundreds of billions in daily volume. By inheriting this step, tokenized stocks can be executed at size with near zero slippage 24/5. I expect this to be 24/7 sometime soon, but yeah, as of right now, 24/5, still really good. And what is the outcome? Access US markets with real market pricing and depth. Ondo tokenized stocks and ETFs deliver the same economic results as owning the underlying asset directly. As the largest tokenized stock platform, Ondo is reshaping how global investors access major financial markets. And basically, this is how it works. So the Ondo Global Market is here. Traditional exchanges have, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Nvidia, AMD. Then the DeFi ecosystem also, the Ondo markets provides the DeFi ecosystem, those tokens, those tokenized stocks, those tokenized ETFs, and then they bring it back to, it all merges together. So that's the best way to explain it. So yeah, I just want to talk about, kind of whether the price is going, right? A lot of people have been really super negative and like, oh my God, the world is ending, the world is finishing. Ondo is getting absolutely plummeted. So Ondo right now is down 78% from its all-time high, right? It was $2.14. Right now it's 46 cents. I would never thought it would get this low, but here we are. I do think the bottom is somewhere here sometime soon. I obviously expect Ondo to be over $5, right, in the next couple of years. Plume is down 90% all time from the all-time high, right? And that was 8 months ago. Obviously, Plume is a little bit newer. It came out this year. The only thing I will say about Plume, and that it's not that I don't like it, right? But it is ex people from Robinhood. I don't like that they basically just stole the Robinhood logo and they just changed it and they put like different colors. I will say though, if they want to be the next Robinhood, if they want to be the Robinhood of like RWAs, obviously they are competing with Robinhood, but they have their own, different side, different venue, whatever it may be. Yeah, they have a lot of room to grow, right? It's only $76 million of market cap. Robinhood is even larger. And like I said, it's $1 trillion opportunity. So yeah, I don't really have a price prediction for Plume, as I'm not that well versed into Plume, so I don't really want to, be saying anything to say it. But in terms of Ondo, I do expect Ondo to go back to at least a minimum $2, right? Just so you know, they are unlocks for Ondo coming in about 2 months, right? The 13th, I think it is, not the 17th. So watch out, beware. I'm not saying unlocks are the worst thing to happen. A lot of people, one of the people I follow the most, Joe McCann, says token unlocks are bullish, right? They make the price go up. A lot of early investors are going to pump up the price and try to get as much money as they can. So let's be wary of that. I will say though, I'm holding on though for the next 5 to 10 years. So it really doesn't matter what happens, next year with the token unlocks. But yeah, I think it's gonna go back to $2. I see this being a 5, 10, well above, $5 to $10. So yeah, and treat your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot. Hopefully you liked it. Agent Rosales, let me know your name. If you don't want to know your name and you want to be private, it's fine. It's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Saturday. As always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.